If you asked me what genre would be least likely to work with a gamepad, a complex grand strategy game of Stellaris' breed would be near the top of the list. But much to my surprise, the team behind this port of Paradox's space opera sandbox have managed to do a really admirable job translating the controls. Coming from the PC version, however, I can't help but notice that they've ported a long out-of-date version of Stellaris that's still full of major gameplay shortcomings which have been solved for a while now on that side of the fence. And man, is it hard to go back. If you've never even looked at Stellaris before, there are plenty of reasons to get excited about Console Edition. It's one of the most ambitious and innovative Space 4X games to come out in the last decade. You're given fine control over designing your empire's government and primary species using a variety of flavorful and impactful trait choices, allowing you to be anything from an iron-fisted dictatorship of bloodthirsty turtles to a peaceful technocracy led by whatever this thing is. The portraits you can pick from include enough weird, memorable, and sometimes hilarious aliens to fill the Mos Eisley Cantina a few times over. Once you get out onto the great-looking star map, the biggest factor that sets Stellaris ahead of similar games is how effectively it creates the illusion of being part of a living, organic galaxy, not just a board game with a space theme. Where series like Master of Orion and Civilization have leaned harder into the idea that you should play a specific way in pursuit of a specific set of goals, Stellaris allows you to simply explore, experiment, and decide on the benchmarks of success you want to hit all on your own. There are a few baked-in victory conditions, like owning a certain number of planets, but I can't say I've ever paid that much attention to them. Pursuing the goals I've imagined for my empire, whether that's finding and uplifting as many pre-FTL civilizations as possible, or declaring a crusade against all non-democratic despots, is always more entertaining. And doing so is only made more enjoyable by one of my favorite game scores ever. Paradox games are notorious for having menus upon menus, but they're all fairly easy to access with a D-pad and some clever use of screen space. A few rough spots, such as how it's sometimes difficult to order a specific ship to a specific spot using the cursor, rear their heads every so often. And in the late game, the outliner that lets you quickly select all of your planets and fleets can get a little cluttered. The only way to navigate it is using the D-pad, which is fairly slow when there are a lot of entries. I found myself wondering why I couldn't press the currently unused L1 and R1 buttons to quickly switch between categories. My biggest disappointment by far, though, is that Console Edition is based on Stellaris 1.7, making it about a year and a half out of date compared to the PC version. And for a game by Paradox, a developer known for evolving its games dramatically, that makes a galaxy of difference. The 2.0 update completely overhauled Warfare, and 2.2 redid Empire Management. Issues like tedious cat-and-mouse fleet chases and the busywork-heavy planetary tile system are cast into even sharper relief knowing what life is like without them. Leading with 1.7 was not putting the best foot forward, and it's a decision I struggle to understand. It's really hard to go back to a version that doesn't include these very important changes that made Stellaris a dramatically better game. The other moderately annoying thing I noticed was the maximum game speed, even on a PS4 Pro, is significantly slower than what my 5-year-old Core i7 CPU on PC can pump out. And given that Stellaris 1.7 was already a game where a lot of time could pass without much happening, that can really lead to some boring stretches of waiting for technologies to research or a new colony to finish. Conquering the galaxy and discovering its deepest secrets with a controller in hand is a much better experience than I would have thought possible for this type of game. Thanks to extensive customization and its liberating play-your-own-way attitude, Stellaris Console Edition is the most fun you can have with a Space 4X game on Xbox One or PlayStation 4 right now. That said, if you have a PC that can run Stellaris on decent settings, there's really no question that you should prefer that over Console Edition. At least until it has time to catch up with the major feature changes that over a year of significant patches have brought, I'll be keeping my copy in cryosleep. For more 4X, check out our reviews of At the Gates and Civilization 6 Gathering Storm. And for everything else, stick with IGN.